Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea-drinking author who's currently got a cup of Twining's Lemon and Ginger. Very nice. You will notice I've moved things around. This is exciting. I've moved my microphone to this side instead of this side over here. And that means there's no cable in the way, so I can grab my cup of tea and drink. Whereas before I had to try to feed it underneath the cable and get my arm underneath the boom and all that. Anyway, a little bit of housekeeping. Don't forget this video is set up with chapters, so you can jump straight to the bit that you're interested in and ignore my witterings if you want. That's good. If you're interested, I have a Patreon, I have a Buy Me a Coffee, and there's a super thanks tick and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to help support the channel, you know what you have to do. I'm going to be adding a video at the end of this because basically, having talked about pens for quite a while, you probably need something a little lighter. So I'm going to add a little video of my Rhodesian Ridgeback when she was a pup and the Dalmatian Spotty Dog when she was alive. I just came across this treasure trove of different videos about the pup tormenting the Spotty Dog, so I thought I could use them. Right. Today, what are we talking about? Well, I was thinking, because I still haven't sent this back yet, this gorgeous Conway Stewart is a medium nib, and it's quite fat in terms of the way it writes. Here's an example of writing with it. Now, I keep getting asked by different people, how big is a nib? And sometimes what they mean is, physically, how long is the nib? Is it that long? Is it that long? Is it that long? But quite often they mean, well, what does it look like on paper? And you can tell someone, well, this nib is a medium, and that means it's going to be 1 and a bit millimeters fat. Or this nib is a double broad, and that means it'll be 1.7 meters fat ink on the page. What does that mean? It's no use at all. So I thought what I'd do is just have a quick video today showing what the different types of nib look like when they're actually writing. So I thought I'd go through a fine and a medium from Kaweco, and then I'd show a medium Conway Stewart, and then probably just for fun, to give a real comparison, have a look at what a flexi nib does. And then that way, hopefully, if you're interested in looking at pens, you can get a feel for what type of nib you actually want to use. Let's have a look at them. Okay, here we have a range of pens. We have a Kaweco. I like Kawecos. They don't fall off your desk when you put them down because they have a nice, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, octagonal shape. And although they go very small in your pocket, when you post them, they're a delightful size. You'll notice I've managed to get ink everywhere. That's because things have gone horribly wrong. I had a slight difficulty with the camera recording, which has led to me having to ditch everything and start again from scratch. This is a little Cult Pens pen. Not a problem pen, but it has given me some difficulties because of spraying ink today, but that's my fault for putting a Kaweco cartridge converter inside it rather than just an ink cartridge. This has a medium nib. This is a fine. That's a medium. This is another Kaweco. This is the Lilliput, which I just adore actually. It's in my pocket almost all the time, this, because it feels nice in the pocket. When you use it, it feels really good in the hand. And this has a double broad nib. So let's just have a quick look at how these pens all work on paper, how fat the nibs look, and how well they write. So, first of all, little mini Kaweco needs some ink. I'm just going to dip this because it's easier than messing about. little Kaweco with a fine F. Now, as you can see, that is quite thin writing. That's a fine by European standards. And the difficulty is that if you go to Japanese and Chinese pens, you'll find that a fine pen will be a great deal finer than this. Don't you dare. There you go. But then we also have, I haven't got a broad in Kaweco sadly, but I have got this, which is the double broad. You're really getting a fat nib for your money this way. Now, I've always preferred broad, basically larger nibs. I find that with my style of writing, and especially my signature, it just works better. Look at those hands. So, let's just compare them with a medium nib from Conway Stewart. I have to admit that really is lovely. And what you get with that, it's only a medium, but it gives you a certain degree of flexibility. This is a broad from Conway Stewart, using a slightly different type of ink. And you can possibly see there that it is just that little bit fatter here than the Conway Stewart medium. But it's not that much fatter than the double broad from Kaweco. Fatter. It's not that much thinner than the double broad. So you can see here, I think, the sort of variety that you get. Now, one last thing I think I ought to show is this, which is the Pineda, but it's their flexible nib. So with this you can get, it's an extra fine, an EF. And if I write very lightly, then it looks like that. But if I then get another bit of paper, so this is EF, and then write a little bit more harshly, you can see that all of a sudden you get really thick downward strokes if you want. Actually, I need to just refill the reservoir on this. So you can get lovely thick downstrokes. The sidelines going with the angle of the nib aren't going to give too much variation, but when you really try, you get this marvellous variation in the thickness of the lines. And so there we are. Just a set of examples of the different types of nib and the variation in the thickness of those. So you've got extra fine, fine, medium, broad, double broad. I should have put the broad up there really, shouldn't I? And then another medium from Conway Stewart, which isn't too dissimilar to the Kaweco medium. So there you have it. A Jex with very inky fingers because he was clumsy. A Jex with a cup of coffee because it took 2.5 hours to record a simple, easy video because my memory card failed on the camera. It makes you despair, really. I think I'm going to have to go to an Apple iPhone and then record things on that because it'll be a great deal easier. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can Patreon, you can buy me a coffee, you can do the super thanks, you can do all sorts of things, and they're all very gratefully received, because apart from anything else, I think I, at the very least, need to buy a new memory card for my camera, or bite the bullet and buy an iPhone to record these things. It's pathetic, isn't it? Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Hope that was interesting. And now, for those of you who like puppies and dogs, here's a little bit of lunacy and mayhem. Thanks a lot and speak to you soon. Bye. Oh, she's a nuisance, isn't she, Xanthi? Hmm? You think so? Just leave her alone, you horrible puppy. Yeah, you.